Hey everybody, welcome back to Champ and Sons and our Madden 21 Houston Texans franchise. And do we have a special for y'all today? A double header. In this episode, we will be showing not one, but two games. We will be showing the Chicago Bears. And the game I really wanted to get to is our rematch against the Indianapolis Colts. After the last game being such an epic battle, game of the season, I wanted to be able to bring that to y'all as soon as we could. But we do have to travel to Soldier Field first. So what's going on right now? Just doing a little bit of the scouting before we kick off here against the Bears. And this is something that we have kind of started to make a little bit of a focus, looking at our offensive line. We've had injuries, and so it's kind of become a focus knowing we need some depth, and we need to make sure that we're kind of stocked up and prepared for the future. So now we're taking a look at where we stand in the ratings. We are number 4 team in the AFC. That's perfect. That's right where we need to be. That's a playoff berth. But we do have to maintain winning. We have got a really good 4-game win streak right now. And we need to keep this up if we're going to go any further and make a playoff push. We are 7-5. The Colts are 6-6. They are really our biggest nemesis, as the Jaguars and the Titans have kind of fallen off. And that's good for us, but bad in the sense that we've lost both our games to the Jaguars and we lost our first game to the Titans. So we are needing to kind of step up and finish this season strong. Looking at the remaining of the leagues and where everybody stands, the Cowboys atop the NFC East, Seahawks atop the NFC West, Falcons leading the NFC South, and obviously the Packers are ahead in the NFC North. And we've done pretty well against the NFC North. Beat the Lions, the Packers, and I think we lost to the Vikings, but that happens. So getting ready to get fired up for this game against Chicago, we have to keep in mind they do have Khalil Mack, and really just wanted to try to keep things simple, knowing we're not going to make him neutralize unless he got hurt on the first play. Looking just to kind of beat him and limit our turnovers coming in for the week. And we do have Mr. Zach Cunningham returning from injury, getting ready. This will be his first game back, and we are going to jump into it here part of the way through the first quarter, as we do have a 3-0 lead. And you can see we have a little bit of a running game working with a big 7-yard gain for Mr. DJJ, bringing us up to a 2nd and 3 from the Chicago 44. Now Watson from the pistol takes a snap, and we get the pass off, but we are under pressure, so we could not deliver it. And this will give us to a big 3rd down. We only have a 3-0 lead, so we obviously need to work on extending that. And definitely a touchdown puts us at a good 2-score advantage. So we now hear from 3rd and 3, getting some play calling changes, and we will hit Cobb on the slant, who's going to end up running away from Khalil Mack, and he cuts it back out to the right side, and he will score a touchdown, giving us a 10-0 lead. And that's a big one for us because we have started to struggle a little bit on defense. And we find ourselves now in the second quarter as Chicago has started to make a slight little comeback as they got within a score with a 10-7 game now. And Chicago having the ball. As you can see, their running back kind of laid on our defender for quite a while before we were able to actually get him booked down solid. So now on a 2nd and 7. Mitch Trubisky gets the pass, and he will drop off the screen pass, and we end up making the play before he could get to the line to gain, and that is now going to be a 3rd and 1 for this Chicago offense. And we're going to try to bring some pressure up the middle. We get through, but we're just not able to make the stop. Mr. Montgomery pushes us off of him like it's nothing as he goes down beyond the 1st down marker, giving him a whole new set. So now on a 1st and 10 from the 47-yard line. Trubisky will hand it off again, and he'll make some moves with Montgomery, and he gets only a couple yards. He has 9 rushes and 40 yards on the day. It's less than a 5-yard average, so we'll take that because our rush defense has been playing pretty dang well, but I think as those of you who have followed the series have seen us play worse. And we dive out of the way for some reason on that pass play, and Patterson will get a big touchdown down the left side of the field, and Chicago will take the lead, and that will take us into halftime with a 14-10 deficit. And that is not what we were needing to try to get this winning streak continued. They do have the 2 takeaways from us on an interception and a fumble, so we have got to start playing better. Now, taking a look at around the league, looking at our division, Tennessee and Jacksonville are both tied at 7 coming into the halftime of their game with 1 minute to go. And that's all we're going to check out for this one, because that's, with the playoff push, that's what we need, is to just make sure that we beat our division and we stand tall better than them. So to start this second half, we will receive the kick, and we'll only take it back to the 21-yard line. Our special teams has been pretty faulty this year. I need to look for possibly a big return guy, somebody that can make some people miss. Cobb's done decent since he's been back there, but just not good enough. And on the first play, we're going to kind of start rolling to our left, and we're going to get sacked. And that'll bring us to a 2nd and 21 from our own 10. We're losing. We're needing to get some momentum. That is not how we need to be playing at this stage of the game. On the 2nd and 21, we get the quick pass off to Cobb, who's going to drop it. And that is just painful to see. Dropped passes have kind of plagued us in big moments when we really needed to come through with them. So it's not surprising, but it is very disappointing. On the next play, we'll roll to the left, and we'll get Fuller down the left side, and he's going to make a big first down for us on that one. 12 yards run after the catch. What a play by Fuller. And now a little bit later in the drive, we have ourselves at a 1st and 10 from Chicago's 22. We'll hand it off with the big hole up the middle as we pick up about 9 yards on that play, taking us down to the 13, officially in the red zone with a red zone alert, ladies and gentlemen. 2nd and 1 from the Chicago 13. Watson in the shotgun. 1 tight end, 3 receivers wide. And we're going to drop it off to Fells, our tight end, coming across the middle, and he's able to get the catch for the touchdown, and that will start to unleash the beast for us as we find ourselves a little bit later in the third quarter, still trailing by 4, but let the points be coming. And Deshaun Watson makes a leap because I forgot Madden changed up the sliding option for quarterbacks. It's a double tap instead of a dive, and to be totally honest, I did not remember that till the end of this game. So now that we've scored 1 touchdown in this quarter, we need to go for 2. We need to reclaim this lead. And Watson from the goal line formation, 2nd and goal from the 1. And we're going to go ahead and take the snap, and we hand it off, and we're going to power it on through David Johnson for the touchdown and the lead. And that'll give us a 24-21 lead. Now after stopping Chicago, we'll get the ball back and we'll roll out to the right, and we will find Fuller down the right side, and he's going to make a man miss. He's going to go down the right side of the field all the way down to the 15 on a big play for the Texans. And that will end the third quarter for us, ladies and gentlemen, with a 24-21 lead. Now you may ask yourself what happened. An interception happened. That's how we play. We get down close, we get into the red zone, and we turn the ball over. And Chicago was not able to do much with it, so they did punt the ball back. So we are now here at 10 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. This is crunch time. 2nd and 11 from our own 34. 10 minutes ago, only a 3-point lead. And Watson goes, we start to panic with Watson. We should have just run up the middle, but we started to panic, tried to roll out to our left, gave that up, and then got sacked. So now we have ourselves at a 3rd and 18 from our own 27. Still under 9 minutes. needing to make some big plays because we have got to extend this lead just to be safe. And now in this 3rd and 18, we see Cooks all the way open down the right side. He's going to make the catch. He's at the 10, 5, touchdown, Texans. That will do it for us, ladies and gentlemen. We need more plays like that. 73 yards to the house, as that gives us a 31-21 lead with just about 8 minutes left in this game. On the ensuing drive, Trubisky will throw an interception. Roby will catch it. He will go all the way back to the Chicago 29-yard line. We will not go easy into the night with a 10-point lead. This is our second 10-point lead of the game. The first 10-point lead we ended up giving up before the end of the second quarter. So we know this is dangerous territory for us. This is not where everybody should like to be here, but it's not where we like to be. We need to have at least 13 to 17-point lead to count us safe. And we'll hit Cobb coming on the little crossing pattern, and he'll get us all the way down to the 2 on another big play. Deshaun Watson with over 400 passing yards in this game. And that will give us a 1st and goal. And so now with the 1st and goal, we're going to go with a little bit of play action since we've been running it up the middle every time we get in this position. And we will find our fullback. We'll be lucky to get the pass off, and that will give us a lead that will shut down Chicago as we win 38-21 with a big victory. And that will be game 1 of our doubleheader. 5-game win streak, coming up against our biggest division foe in the Indianapolis Colts. And we dominated in this game, with the exception of the turnovers. We had over 400 passing yards. 77 rushing yards is not ideal. That's kind of been a sign I just dawned on me, as we've been moving away from our running game. And so we need to start making that a focus kind of once again, even as poor as it is. And last game against the Bears, we had the AFC offensive and defensive player of the game, Roby with 2 interceptions, Watson with 420 passing yards and 4 TDs, and only the 1 interception thrown. He did fumble the ball twice, but that's a whole slide button issue. I think a lot of people probably fumbled it when scrambling with their quarterback until we figured out, it's a double tap instead of just a single light push like it used to be. And so getting ready for this game against Indy, Brennan Scarlett, he's 27. I've kept thinking about him. I'm still on the fence. Dylan Cole is 26. Now, he's a 72 overall, but he's been playing really well for us as far as making big stops. And so we are going to offer him a contract. And I do my standard, extend his years, give him just a wee teensy bit more money, and it kind of tends to be a less hit on the salary cap. So that will get him signed up until he's 30. Now coming into scouting, this is one of those things that as we get near the end, and keep in mind, a lot of what we have right now and what we're looking at is all going to be drastically affected by what we can do in free agency, what we have the availability to do. So we're taking a look at some strong safeties right now, because that is an area of focus that I think we need to try to step up in. And there's not a whole lot available. That's kind of one of the problems that we're seeing, is a lot of these guys aren't nearly as good as they were projected to be. Mr. Dominic Tompkins here is projected to be, looks like a 2nd-round pick. So that's actually definitely move up. He has very high potential to drop. And if we could actually if he's available in the 3rd round, you bet your keister we're going to pick him up. But it's going to be kind of trying to see where they're at and how they rank amongst all the top-rated players is what it's going to be coming into this one. All right. So now let's take a look at where we stand in our division. And we are 4th. We're still 4th. But now coming up, we take a look, and we are 8-5. The Colts are 7-6. If we can win this game against Indy, that's going to put a lot of separation between us with only 2 games left. And I think it would only require maybe one more. 10-6 is a definite solid win the division, make the playoffs. And a 10-6 is very possible. We've been on a 5-game win streak since starting out 3-5. We just need to try to maintain this momentum that we have going. And so we're going to jump into it. And Indy is doing what Indy does. As everybody noticed from the previous game, Phillip Rivers on point, making the pass plays, hitting the guys open. And they're making moves and getting free. And so now we find ourselves with an interception. We got Rivers. We tricked him into throwing that one. And that's a big play for us as we will take the ball over and find ourselves now at the 19-yard line in the red zone and a shot to take the lead. Watson dumps it off to Fuller, who's just not able to make the catch. That is tough. Tight coverage all around. It's one of those you still would hope that he would end up pulling that thing off. And so now we have ourselves at a 2nd and 10. We're going to hand it off. Like I said, we need to make our running game more of a focus than what we have been in the last couple of weeks. We've won those games, but we haven't played as well as we could, and that's because we got too one-dimensional. So now at 3rd and 10, where we kind of have to throw it, we're going to hit Cobb, but the route gets jumped by their safety, and he will get brought down after the interception. We did hurt him, so I guess that's a semi-positive. He will be brought down after that interception, and that is going to be brutal for us. So now we find Indy a little bit later in the drive, starting out at the 48-yard line for their first play after that turnover. And they get a big pass off to their tight end, Phillip Rivers, hitting them. We almost had that route jumped, and we failed the tackle. So that's not looking too good for us. Now a little bit later in the drive, we are going to get a big sack against Phillip Rivers, pushing them back to a 2nd and 17, moving them all the way from the 28 to the 45-yard line. That is the type of defense we need. Pressure is going to be big as far as getting him stopped. And now this running game, Nyheim Hines, he hands it off. He dominated us last time, but we've kind of got him booked up for the most part so far in this game, as they have now a big 3rd and 19 for Indy. And we're going to be bringing some of that zone blitz now, some of that pressure. And all that pressure is blocked. And they will find their tight end over the middle, but we get a big stop just short of the yard to gain, bringing up a 4th and 1, as Indy will kick a field goal and take the lead 3-0. So now on the ensuing drive, we find ourselves starting at the 26, and we'll hit Fuller coming across on the drag route, who gets a big play for us down the left side of the field for about 15 yards and a big first down. Now that we have a new set, more availability to keep on moving. 1st and 10 from the 40. Watson's in the pistol, 4 wide. And we're going to go with a little RPO and dump it off to Cobb, who's not going to be able to make much happen. I will say, thankfully, that route was not jumped. It came so close to being. So I'll take the yard. Yard is way better than an interception. On the next play, we'll hand it off, and the big hole's open for DJJ as he hits it on the left side for a gain of 6, bringing us to a 3rd and 3. And these are the plays we need to convert. We've struggled in the past, but we need to convert them now. This is crunch time. And on the first snap, we'll drop it off to Cooks on the drag route, who's going to get tackled, but we got the first. That's the main focus. Get the first, do not turn it over. And a little bit later in the drive, we're almost in the red zone, down to Indy's 23-yard line. So we're going to get some motion happen and start playing around with him and get the little shovel pass off to Cobb, who's going to get a big gain all the way down to the 10-yard line. A new set of downs, 1st and 10, because apparently we're just outside of the part to make it 1st and goal. So who knows how that works. 1st and 10 from the 10, looking to set up a screen play since we've been running it. They've been bringing pressure. And we got the opening, but we had to cut it out wide because we just could not get the blocking. The blocking on the screen plays has been harsh for us all season, and it's just one of those things we need to get a little bit better on. Now on 2nd and 9, we're going to hand it off, and we got a big hole up the middle. We are going to take the lead. DJJ with the touchdown. That is how you do it. Power it home. And now a little bit later in the ensuing drive, we will find Indy with a 2nd and 11 from about the 44-yard line after a big stop by J.J. Watt in the backfield. Naheem Hines bottled up quickly, and that's how we have to get to him. We did not do that last game, and he got about 4 touchdowns on us. So far, we've kept him under wraps, and we have the lead. So that's pretty much a secret to our success here. And this time they drop it off. We're going to get the interception. They went for T.Y. Hilton down deep, and we said, not today, sir. Mr. Conley with the interception. That is a big play. And so on our ensuing drive here to start the second quarter, we find ourselves with the 2nd and 10, and we're going to get stuffed. Our rush game kind of getting back to what it used to be. We had a few games there of getting over 100 yards. Not so much now. But also, I think one thing I've been doing is I've gotten out of running with Watson as much as I used to. Okay, that's been one of the things that I think opened up the field for us a lot before. I've kind of gotten away from that, mainly fear of injury. And we throw it to Cobb over the middle again, and that route gets jumped by their safeties because for some reason they have the greatest awareness of all time. That is ridiculous. So now, once again, after our second interception of the first half, we find the Colts at a 1st and 10. And on their first play, they'll hit their receiver coming over the middle, and we smash him. But does he fumble? No, it is not. So kind of the same old, same old. They are now set up at the 14-yard line in the red zone, as we are only maintaining a 4-point lead, trying to hold them to just a field goal so we can keep on top. And I completely choked that sack away as we had the pressure, and for some reason I just dove like I tripped over my 2 dang feet. That is gosh dang ridiculous. And so now in the next play, a 2nd and 10 from the 14. Rivers will dump it off to their tight end, who gets some good, I don't know if I would call that good blocking. It seems like the magnetic type of effect block. But it's good enough to get them the lead as they now have a 3-point lead, 10-7 here in the second quarter. On the very next drive, at one of our first plays, we hit a big pass to Cobb coming across the middle, who's going to be able to make some extension with some run after the catch and get us down to the 43-yard line. And we are starting to build that momentum back. That is how you beat this team. You cannot lose your momentum. You cannot let them take it and just run with it, because they will roll away from you easily. And on the very next play, we hit Fuller down the left side for another big pass play. And that is a massive first down for us as we get all the way down to the 24-yard line. And we'll find ourselves a little bit later here in the quarter in this drive with the 1st and 10, trailing by 3 points. We hand it off to Fuller on the end around, and he's going to get stopped after only about 4 yards. Still worked out better than I thought it was going to. I've been trying to keep him guessing with all the motion that we're bringing, all the little shovel pass, touch pass things, but they're just not totally biting on it. It's not letting it affect anything else that we call at this point, so that's kind of an issue. Hand it off to DJJ, who's getting some good yards now. He's at 8 rushes for 42 yards and the touchdown. So our rush game is working about like we would really want it to be, but we still need to have that little step up. Now in this play, we do have Cobb alone uncovered, so I get him moving just straight up, and I throw him a quick pass, and somehow their safety makes a Superman-esque play, Mr. Booker, and gets the interception. And Indy will drive down the field where we catch up with them at the 13-yard line. And Rivers on that play action will roll to the right and dump it off once again to his tight end, who kind of has been picking us apart this whole half. And that will bring them to a 1st and goal from the 3. Our mistakes have killed us in this game. And on the first play, they hand it off, and we will stuff them in the backfield on that one. Our safety's coming up to make a big play for us, and that is now 2nd and goal from the 4. And here we come to the set. Phillip Rivers has got 2 receivers to his left, 2 tight ends on his right. He's under center. Rivers will take the snap. And we get some more pressure and kind of knock the ball down from him as he threw it. We made the push, and that is what we need again. Keep him within one score in the 3rd and goal. If we can stop him here and keep him to a field goal, this would be success. And instead they dump it off to their backup tight end, who's going to score a touchdown. And that is going to take us into halftime with a 10-point deficit. This is starting to look a lot like a couple games ago. That is what this is looking a lot like. And the only difference now is the stat line. Phillip Rivers has almost 200 passing yards, and we have 127. So now as we take a look at some of the scores from around the league here at the halftime break, one of the main ones we need to keep focus on is the Tennessee Titans. They are 5-8, but they are losing right now against the Detroit Lions at home in Nashville. Tannehill is only 4 for 8 for 60 yards with no touchdowns. And the next game is Seattle at Washington. Washington's the 4-9 team, surprisingly putting it to the Seahawks, who are 10-3 on this season. And now the Jaguars. What are they doing against Baltimore? And surprisingly enough, they have the lead. Minshew with 2 touchdowns. Lamar Jackson with only 1, as the Jaguars do lead 14-7. And that's going to bring us here to the start of the second half, as we will receive the kickoff and take over possession at the 28-yard line. And the first play, we're going to go deep for Fuller, and we loft it up, and it's going to be intercepted again. Wasn't even really close to being able to make a play. That was just bad on all fronts. I cannot believe we did that. That was bad to see. The deep accuracy's got to be improved. That's going to have on that one. So that should be our 4th interception of the day. Only our 3rd at this point. I don't know. I've thrown so many I've lost count. Either way, Indianapolis takes over at the 20, as we now have them at a 2nd and 10. And they're going to hand it off, and he's making some moves. He had a wide open hole. If he had just run through, probably would have made it no problem. But now that will bring Indy to a 3rd and 5. A big stop is what we need. We haven't forced them to punt the ball once. We've gotten the turnovers, but we have not forced them to punt. Other than that, they've scored on every drive. And so now with a 3rd and 5 and a chance to make a play, we completely blow our coverage and leave the running back wide open. And Rivers dumps it off to Hines, who's going to get down the field to the 44-yard line. And so now a little bit later in the drive, actually the very next play, that's how later it is. They dump it off to their tight end, who we're going to just start smashing this dude. I'm not even worried about making a safe tackle. I'm trying to knock the ball loose. We hit stick him at the 9, knock him down, beat the tar out of him with that shot. But that does bring up a 2nd and 1 for Indy. And so now at the 2nd and 1, they're going to hand it off to Hines, and Cunningham comes through with a big hit and just wallops Hines down at the 46 for no gain. So, dare I say, 3rd and 1, another opportunity to make the big stop that we need to have happen. And they will snap the ball, and they're going to run it, and we power him down. Scarlett does, but he still gets just enough for the first down. Now a little bit later in the drive, we do find Indy at the 33-yard line. They hand it off. Wide open hole, but this time the hit stick causes a fumble. And we will recover. We will get that turnover, ladies and gentlemen. We have got life again. Our defense has stepped up big to start this second half. And so now we take over in the ensuing drive with a 1st and 10 from our own 28. Watson in the shotgun. And we'll hit Fuller coming over the middle, who lays the lumber to the defensive back, knocks him on his keister. He doesn't know where he's at. He thinks it's Tuesday in 2nd grade. And that will bring up a 2nd and 2 for us coming into this, comeback that we are really needing. There's only 25 minutes left of football. And we'll hand it off with a big hole open on the left side, and DJJ makes things happen, giving us that first down. So now we catch up a little bit later in our drive, as we have a 1st and 10 from the 15 in the red zone. And we would try to hit Fuller. He's not able to come down with it. Thankfully, it was not intercepted. And so now that brings up 2nd and 10 from the 15. We cannot throw an interception again. I mean, my goodness, how many do we have to throw in a game before we realize that's a bad idea? Well, Watson sends a running back in motion, and we get under pressure, not able to pull a solid throw off. Oy, that's painful to see. Now to 3rd and 10, 4 out wide, running back in the backfield with Watson from the shotgun. Here we go, Watson takes a snap, and they're going to bring the pressure. We're going to roll to our right, and yet we have no one to throw it to, but we make a little movement and just with pure athleticism get around the edge and bring up a 4th and 1. And what are we doing? You know what we're doing. We're giving it to Gillespie, fullback right up the middle. And he's going to get us our first down yardage. Brand new set of downs here. 1st and goal from the 4. The comeback is trying to happen. And we'll take it from the shotgun. And now we have Fells coming across on the drag. And we're going to roll to our left. And nothing's available. So we do just throw it away before we take the sack and possibly fumble. And so now that brings us down to a 2nd and goal from the 4. Once again in the shotgun. Watson takes the snap. This time we get the ball across to Cooks, who's going to get the touchdown and give us a 3-point deficit. But our defense starts to continue to not be able to make a stop. As we do find Indy a little bit later in their drive here in the 4th quarter now, as the Colts are down to our 10-yard line with a 2nd and 5. Our defense is the definition of bend while breaking a few times. And on the next play, they will hit T.Y. Hilton on the slant route for the touchdown. And that is going to give us a big deficit with 8 minutes to go. But we did it last time. We can do it again. So much so on our ensuing drive from 1st and 10, we lofted it up, and thankfully it did not get intercepted. That was a risky throw. And that brings us to 2nd and 10 from the 40. We're needing to make something happen. We can't go with not scoring. So Watson going to take over the game. And like I said, we figured out that double tap to slide, as that brings us to a 3rd and inches. And we're hurrying it up now. Time is of the essence. We're going to speed it up. We're changing plays. We're switching things around. And now we're going to bring it Fuller across, and for some reason he turned it up the field. I don't know if that was the throw or that was the receiver, why he did that. If he had just continued to his left, there's a good chance we probably could have come close to getting a touchdown on that one. Instead, 4th and inches. So what do? We're going to power it home. Mr. Gillespie, one of our main offensive MVP type of players is what I would say, as he has 2 rushes on the day for 4 yards. But both of his rushes have gotten us first downs on a 4th. So now that we have our new set of downs, here at 1st and 10 from the 29, Watson drops back to take the snap, and he will throw it across the field. We're not even under pressure on that one. Watson just missed him deep down the field. Our accuracy definitely needs to be improved. Wide open Cooks. So now we have a 2nd and 10 after that incompletion. And now we find Fuller on the left side, as we will get a big first down. Fuller on those drag routes and those in routes coming all the way across the field has been a major push for us and a major point of success. So now with our 1st and 10, 6 minutes to go in the 4th quarter, trailing by 10, we'll try to dump it off to Fells, but for some reason he starts falling backwards. I don't get that. I don't know why that would happen. In no place in any type of football game, on a video game, or real life should that ever happen. It just should. On the next play, we try to hit Fuller, but as y'all have seen in some of our past games, whenever we've been down trying to make comebacks, the drop passes tend to really wreak havoc with our team. We get some cement hands up going. And on the 3rd and 10, we will hit it to Cobb, who's going to get moving and just able to get that first down. Just barely able to get it. So now we do have a 1st and goal. We have life again, ladies and gentlemen. And on the next play, we will hit Fells for the tight end for the touchdown. We are now down by 3. But as is the standard with our team, our defense completely bends and breaks, allowing Indy to score a touchdown. So now we have 1 minute left to come back 10 points, ladies and gentlemen. If Dallas could do it, we can do it. That's all I'm trying to say. And so now, after a big play on our first play of the drive, we find ourselves at the 45-yard line. Watson will roll to the right, and we will hit Cooks coming across the field from that slot position all the way down to the 28. And we don't have timeouts anymore at this point. We are fighting for our lives going based off pure speed. Watson will run it, almost get it intercepted as we scramble to the right and try to dump that one off to our tight end. So now on the next play, 32 seconds left, 10 points down. Watson from the pistol as we take the snap. Indy's bringing the pressure, and we're not able to get that pass off. But let's see the flag, ladies and gentlemen. It's a pass interference. That'll give us new hope once again. 1st and 10 from the 11-yard line. 30 seconds left. Watson in the shotgun. 3 receivers out set. And now we throw it, and it's going to be dropped by Cobb coming across the middle. He was surrounded by it looked like throwing into a dang hornet's nest. I can't blame him for dropping that. Now 2nd and 10, 25 seconds to go. 3 wide receivers to the left. Watson takes a snap, and we get it to our tight end, who's going to power down all the way to the 1, and we have got to hurry. There's only 10 seconds left in this game. We need 2 scores. Watson takes a snap, and we hit our tight end again for the 2nd touchdown of the game. We are down by 3. And we fail to get the onside kick. How many people saw that coming? Yeah. I know. We did fail to get the onside kick. We played decently when we were not turning the ball over. This game was all about the turnovers. I mean, my God, we only had, 5 of them? 4 interceptions and a fumble. That's not any team that has 332 passing yards and 177 rushing yards and gets 3 takeaways should win the game. Unfortunately, not when you give it away 5 times. As Deshaun Watson, who somehow has earned an upgrade, and his morale is +3. Your morale is +3 after throwing 4 interceptions. That's ridiculous. But hey, we upgraded his improviser, and look at that. His deep accuracy has been pushed up a little bit. So I guess that's a positive. Now Mr. Garyon Conley, we're going to upgrade his man-to-man and he has been playing well. He's really earned that upgrade. He has gotten some big interceptions for us here in the last few weeks. And in previous games, we were able to convert those, just not this game. So that is kind of a shame. A lot of players have stepped up and played well, and it's one of those things that, man, we can't keep giving teams, 4 or 5 extra possessions, because the more we do that, the harder it is on our defense. And these guys are playing well. Vernon Hargraves, fumble recovery. They're playing really well, more or less, but they're on the field so much we can't stop anybody. And they're put in such poor positions that a 30-yard drive allows a team to get points. And so we've got to do better for our defense. I don't know what's going to have to happen after this game. Depends on probably what happens in the rest of the season. Bill O'Brien, we gave him this last year after all those stupid trades in the previous offseason to see if he can't earn his job, if he can't, continue or turn this thing around to be successful. And that's the biggest thing for us is he may be gone at the end of the year. We may be seeing sweeping changes at the end of this season, ladies and gentlemen. Mark my words. And so we're going to take a look at the AFC South standings. We were number 4 in the AFC. Now, after that game, dropping to 8-6 based on losing to the Colts and everybody that's beat us all through this year. We're actually dropped down to technically number 9 in the AFC. We are the 2nd in the South. The records are the same, but Indy has more division wins than what we have. So that is going to take a toll on us. Got to take a look at the rest of the season since there's only 2 weeks left in our schedule. And we got the Bengals and the Titans. The Titans are going to be a big one for us. And the Colts, let's see who they're playing. The Colts are going to be playing against, they have the Steelers and the Jags. So both teams have must-win games. And definitely remember to like and subscribe our videos and hit that little thumbs up button and notification bell to stay tuned for all the future Houston Texans franchise content. And in the next episode, everybody, I will see y'all as we take on the Bengals. So as always, stay safe, everyone, and later, y'all.